are listening to the most comprehensive paranormal archive on the internet.
Welcome to Salsido Paranormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm covering more haunted places, if I can say the word right, in the U.S. As always, you can find everything associated with the podcast at the website and more, and that would be salsidoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. And that would include all the episodes of the show, links to social media, ways to listen, and ways to support the show, and friends of the show, including Jen, the Arcane Observer, who has her own channel, and is the co-host of this show on Saturdays when she can join me. So how this works is I get a list of places generated for each state, and cover them, do the research on them, find a couple articles for each location, and put them in the episode description. And so you can check out the pictures and get more information, do your own research, because I never recommend trespassing for any reason. So information on one article can be accurate when it came out, and then things can change. And so you have to make sure that it's okay to visit these places and see if it is, because some places they are not accessible to people. But I still like to cover them just because of the history and the reports of paranormal activity in the past. And also, I apologize in advance for any names I mispronounce, people or places. And yeah, we can continue on with this here. We are just about going to finish the state of New Mexico, the couple of locations I have left for that. And then we'll move on to New York, going in alphabetical order here. And I will be doing a... after I get through the last of the states in the series here, I'll do I'll do the same, go through the same process for Washington, D.C. as well. So back to New Mexico, though. We still have a ways to go before we're done with this series. And the next location here is, I'm probably going to say it wrong, Uraka Mansion. Mansion. I have Mansion on the mind because of the last couple places. Uraka Mesa. There we go. Correctly spelled Uraka Mesa. So I basically have it as I have it. This is a large haunted mesa located in Colfax County, northern New Mexico, on the property of the Philmont Scout Ranch near Angel Fire. It reaches an elevation of 8,594 feet and is considered one of New Mexico's most sinister and creepy locations. Historical background. The area's history stretches back to the Anasazi, ancestral Puebloans, I believe that's how you say that, who lived there from around AD 200 to AD 1300, before mysteriously disappearing. Before European settlement, the region was also inhabited by Apache, Ute, and other Native American tribes. The site later became a stop along the Santa Fe Trail, a prospecting camp after the Civil War, and eventually a cattle ranch before the Boy Scouts established Philmont in 1938. The name Uraka comes from the Spanish word for magpie, reflecting ancient Native American legends that flying magpies once inhabited the mesa. Magpies are traditionally associated with deception and are seen as messengers of death in many cultures. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. The haunting and supernatural legends. Uraka Mesa is steeped in mythical and supernatural associations. The most persistent legend is that the Navajo believe the mesa is a gateway to the demon world or hell. According to Navajo legend, their shaman felt something wrong with the forest. Wow, there's a whole forest down there. And sent warriors to investigate, who found a short, glowing being claiming to be the last of the Anasazi. The core legend tells that the Anasazi gathered atop the mesa to battle satanic forces. I'm not sure why they would be. Okay. Seeping through a gateway to hell. It doesn't make sense that it would be, that's the word they would use for those kind of forces, but I could be wrong. The entire tribe sacrificed themselves, entering the portal to force the evil back. When the darkness was contained, a powerful Navajo shaman sealed the portal and placed cat totems around the mesa to guard it. That's fascinating. Because there's a whole lot of, again, symbolism with cats and being guardians and all that throughout time. These cat totems were meant to scare away magpies, which were prophesied to reopen the gate. Legend says that if all of the totems are destroyed, the portal will open and evil will be unleashed. Today, only 2 of the original cat totems remain. That's fascinating, huh? Many people claim strange experiences on the mesa, including being attacked by invisible forces. That's not good. Seeing ghosts of a Boy Scout who can never return to base camp. Witnessing the phantom of a Navajo shaman surrounded by glowing blue light who stands watch to keep the portal sealed. Seeing dark-skinned, hairless figures watching hikers. Hearing strange voices echoing on the wind at night. Being chased by a weird blue light if they get too close to the mesa. So a lot of blue going on here. Fascinating. Compasses don't always work on Iraka Mesa due to large deposits of lodestone, naturally magnetic rock, which can cause scouts to get lost. The lodestone also attracts lightning, though maps show the mesa actually receives relatively fewer strikes than many other high points on the ranch. At the foot of the mesa sits Casa del Gavilan, a historic inn built in 1911 by John Jack Naim, N-A-I-M, a renowned storyteller believed to have fostered legends about the mesa before his death. The inn is visible from Philmont as an inexplicable white structure apparently suspended in midair below the mesa. Uraka Mesa is privately owned by Philmont Scout Ranch and is not open for public hiking. More than 1 million scouts and adventurers have passed through the camp, many hearing Anasazi camp horror stories about this place. Huh. So I wonder how much of that, again, is based on the actual legends and how much has been changed and or exaggerated from since Europeans began to arrive and all that. The cat aspect is fascinating. Again, I'm always interested in cats and all that, and all those associations. But the blue as well, the blue light, the figure surrounded by it, and then just blue lights chasing people away from it. And I've been wondering this recently too. Even if there's, in cases where there are myths and legends, but no one can find any historical evidence of a thing, especially when it comes to these places that are said to be portals like that. Because obviously science is not going to, scientific methods are not going to be able to prove easily that these portals ever existed. But if enough people in an area believe or think that a place is a portal, can that make it one? Is that why, again, there's all this activity around this place, even though the portal is supposed to be sealed? And I wonder about that with just places that are said to be haunted in general as well. Moving on to the last location I have here for New Mexico, the Double Eagle restaurant in Old Mesa, New Mexico. This is famous not only for the steaks and New Mexican cuisine. All these restaurants are gonna make me hungry, but also for being one of the Southwest's most talked about haunted locations. The restaurant is housed in a historic hacienda style, adobe home, built in 1849. Some sources say 1848, for the Massey family, who were involved in import-export business and moved to Mesa after losing their Santa Fe base during the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. The tragic love story behind the haunting. The haunting centers on a tragic romance between the Massey family's teenage son, Armando, and a young servant girl named Inez. Their relationship was forbidden because Armando's mother, Senora Massey, was fiercely proud of her family's prestige and would never approve of her son marrying a servant. I'm wondering if how much of this is legend and how much of this is proven. But anyway, the tragedy occurred when Senora Massey returned home unexpectedly and found Armando and Inez together in what is now called the Carlotta room, also known as the Carlotta Salon, formerly Armando's bedroom. In a rage, she grabbed a pair of sewing shears, or scissors, and stabbed Inez until she died. During the struggle, she also stabbed her own son, Armando, who died in the same room 3 days later. The ghosts and paranormal activity. Armando and Inez's ghosts are said to still haunt the restaurant, particularly the Carlotta room, where they died. Their spirits are described as mild-mannered and lively, more like teenagers playing high-spirited pranks than malicious entities. Reported paranormal activities include objects moving from one place to another, tables shifted, wine glasses broken without alarm, lights turning on and off unexpectedly, footsteps heard when no one is present, whispered names or someone calling your name from another room, then disappearing, strange perfumes or smells appearing suddenly, and cold spots in the Carlotta room, nightmares reported by people who sit in the two special chairs in the room. Wow, so they're sitting there, and then when they go to sleep, wherever they're at, they have nightmares. That's fascinating and terrifying. The ghost lovers' chairs. The most famous feature of the Carlotta room is two overstuffed chairs in opposite corners, said to belong to Armando and Inez. These chairs, though rarely used and recently reupholstered, show unusual wear patterns in the cut velvet fabric, specifically worn in the shape of two human bodies, one larger than the other, both small by today's standards, reflecting their teenage ages. Staff and guests claim the ghosts don't like people sitting in these chairs. Okay, so that's the reason for the nightmares. And many have reported nightmares after doing so. Some even claim that to see the silhouettes of the couple captured in photographs on the wall. Excuse me. Historic significance of the building. The Double Eagle is known as the crown jewel of Old Messiah and has been a prominent restaurant since 1973, celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2023. The building itself dates to 1850 on Guadalupe Street and is considered one of the oldest houses on the plaza. The area was a crossroad for north-south and east-west traffic, even from Anasazi Indian times, and the region contains many petroglyphs indicating ancient settlements. The property saw historical events, including the Mexican-American War and the confirmation of the Gadsden Purchase in 1853. Today, it operates as a historic site, serving as a full bar, restaurant, and venue filled with turn-of-the-century art, antiques, and crystal chandeliers, along with its two ghosts. The haunting has been documented for more than a century, with the story pieced together from old-timers' tales, newspaper accounts from Messiah's early days, and private diary entries. The restaurants gives the address here, but yeah, so that's where that one ends. I'm wondering, so if there's diary entries, that's a little bit trickier to a newspaper. I mean, newspaper articles could have things wrong, but yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I wonder how much of the legend is accurate, how much is not. Either way, you have these two chairs, and again, even if there is, I mean, I'm not saying there can't be these two apparitions, these two spirits that were unfortunately, when they were alive, terribly murdered, but even with or without that, that tale has still been around again for a century. That's a lot of people hearing about it, being aware of it, thinking about it. Who knows what kind of energy living people have added to what may have already been there. So we'll get into New York now, and see how many we can get through of these. Probably only one or two. And this first location I'll talk about here in New York is Rolling Hills Asylum. This is in East Bethany, New York. It began as the Genesee County Poor Farm, later called the Genesee County Poorhouse, or Old County House, and it opened in 1827 as a county institution for people who had nowhere else to go. Over time, it also housed orphans, widows, the mentally ill, and others who were poor, sick, or marginalized, before the property later became the Genesee County Nursing Home and finally closed as a county facility in 1974. History. The site was chosen in 1826 because it sat near the geographic center of Genesee County, and early accounts describe it as a self-sufficient working farm. Residents helped tend to the land and animals, which was typical of poor farms in that era. A stone addition was built in 1828 to confine people who misbehaved and to house some who were considered insane, reflecting the harsher side of poorhouse life. By the 20th century, the property had expanded into a large county care facility, and the modern building is described as over 60,000 square feet with a tunnel system. Local and paranormal history sources say there have been more than 1,700 documented deaths on the property, with many more unrecorded. Haunting reputation. Rolling Hills is famous for reports of shadow figures, disembodied voices, footsteps, door slams, cold spots, and EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. That's where you don't hear anything with your ears, but your recorder somehow picks things up, whatever your recorder you're using. And that can be old-fashioned tapes, and that can be modern digital devices. It is widely promoted as one of the most haunted places in the United States. And some sources rank it as the second most haunted site in the country. Let's see. A few of the best-known ghost stories are tied to specific areas and personalities. Shadow Hallway, where visitors report shadow figures moving through the men's dormitory. Hattie's Room, where recordings have captured a woman shouting hello. The Infirmary, where stories mention a laughing presence associated with Nurse Emmy. The Morgue, where people report poltergeist-like activity and even being shoved. That's not good. The usual explanation from paranormal history sources for the place being haunted is that the building absorbed decades of suffering, abandonment, and death, and that many former residents may have treated it as their only home. Another common theme is that the site's long use as a poorhouse and infirmary left it with a dense emotional history that fuels the legends today. Visiting today. Today, again, check on this before you go because things may change over time. Today, Rolling Hills Asylum operates as a paranormal tourism site with tours, ghost hunts, and overnight events. Its fame comes as much from its documented history as from the stories collected by investigators, visitors, and television crews over the years. And so, yeah, that's a lot going on there. Again, asylums seem to be really common as places that become haunted over time and have activity in them. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that that one did as well. And I'm always curious about how that works when a place is turned into a paranormal attraction. I think it's possible to do it respectfully, but also without looking into it more, I can't say, again, how things are going there. Excuse me. So we have plenty more here in New York to go through. And we'll get to that in another episode. We're almost out of time here. Houses, so mansions and regular houses. And so let's see here. The resorts, hotels, again, common places that have activity in them. And yeah, many other locations as well. Let's see here. What's that? So the winery at Meriden Manor. Anyway, plenty to go through going forward here. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.